Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Grinner here and welcome back to another video. So we are back on PSU, and I guess it's time to run that free mission. Yeah, I basically found a group of people that were doing some of the event quests. You guys can see I've leveled up quite a bit. That's all come from the event quest. It's really fast experience. They got a special mission. I kind of walked them through, or I guess they're kind of newer. I walked through how they get the free mission and how that actually works. And I had one, so I was like, you know what? I ran yours, might as well go ahead and run mine. So thought I'd go ahead and let them know. We're all above 45, yeah? We are. So let's do the A rank version. So we're gonna go ahead and run it so you guys get to see what a free mission looks like. Now, we have leveled quite a bit since then. We already got Hunter Ranger Force taken care of, so we're currently playing Acrotecher. Just getting it out of the way for right now. Just so, like I said, these are random people that I just joined a random mission with to go ahead and do the event. Are you gonna buff us? This guy usually bats to equip things. Ah, I see. BD? Jump cut for you guys, but for me it was taking care of some IRL stuff. But anyway, so yeah, they're not 100% sure that, or they don't know that I'm recording this. So if you guys see this video, hi. They want to be super weird, be like, hey, by the way, I record for YouTube. You're gonna be in a video. Is that okay? It is what it is. Aren't people's real names. It's all good altogether. All right. Oh, they buffing us? Yeah. So we're gonna get Acrotecher out of the way first, just because I really want to play Acro Fighter. Well, Acro Fighter is what I used to play back in the day, and of course, Acro Master is just the Clementine created class. It's upgraded of Acrotecher, the class we all kind of hoped came to PSU, but never got to that point. Dude, these rare missions or these free missions are so good for experience. They also give you a lot of mission points as well. So we're gonna see it. You're gonna see us jump up in levels. We already did one of these with them, and we went from Acrotecher level 1 to 3. So the higher level classes, or the higher tier classes, require more mission points. Low tier ones you level very quickly, but higher tier ones require more mission points. Now we could have gotten an extra person to fill this out so we have access to the room, but honestly it's not that big of a deal. I'd rather just get this run and get this out of the way. Also, the possibility of getting another one is, like, you know, relatively high up there, so we want to make sure we get this knocked out. Yeah, we just started this character today and we're already level 50. Leveling is pretty quick, especially with an event, so I'm probably going to grind out the event to at least get to Acrotecher, or get through Acrotecher and get over to Acro Fighter. And then I'll probably slow down after that. Plus I've got some time to record today, so got a little bit of grinding we can get done very easily. Plus I still need to look into what gear I want to go ahead and start grabbing. I know there's specific pieces of gear that are pretty good to have all around. And the nice thing about the Acro classes is, of course, humans get higher stats with them. So I'll have access to a bit more stats. I'm just looking forward to being able to attack faster on Acro Fighter. That's always been my favorite. Those who follow the channel know I'm a big fan of attack speed, so. We've got 51. Got our Renkai to 14. We do have the second half of Renkai, which is pretty nice. And we've just been buying our gear directly from the shop. Basically, sell it, like, pick up any weapons you get during these missions. If they are something you can use, go ahead and hold on to them. But if not, just go ahead and vendor them for the most part. And I'm not sure if there's anything worth holding on to as far as materials. I'm gonna wait and let him buff us really quick. Fun fact, if you're ever standing around not doing much of anything, you can just spam your buff buttons on yourself or as many people as you can get into the actual buff to go ahead and level it as much as possible. Back in the day, there used to be buff parties where you would run, I believe, White Beast all the way to other. I think they're grabbing. Yeah. Stuck in that thing. Don't run in the center. There you go. Get him out of there. But you'd run White Beast all the way to the end, or whatever like the mission was. That was the current mission everyone was doing, was ran all the way to the end to where like the boss room was. And then you also just stand there. You wouldn't fight the boss because it was right next to a crystal that you would get all your photon points back with. And you would just spam buffs. And level all of your buffs to max level. And I spent hours sitting there getting all of my buffs to level 50. My heals and my my reverse are all maxed out. Just to kind of get it done and get it out of the way. Because once it's done, you don't have to worry about it anymore. I mean, you can use the same level spells and it just locks you whatever your class is. So like say I'm playing something like, you know, Master Force, I can only use level 10 buffs. So even if I have level 50 buffs leveled, it'll only use the level 10 versions of them. But if I'm playing something like, you know, of course, Acrotecher, I'm able to use level 50 buffs. So that's really, really nice. Dude, Acrotecher buffs make a huge difference. Things like the evasion buffs, that and debuffs, man. If you get an Acrotecher that is actually properly playing and buffing and debuffing enemies, you know, playing with a one-handed weapon and offhand debuffing stuff, it's really, really nice. That's it for the mission, by the way. It's really, really quick. And we get, let's see, 66,000 Meseta and 2,000 mission points. That'll take our Acrotecher all the way to level 6. So we're already over halfway done with Acrotecher. So I'm probably going to grind out Acrotecher pretty heavily and get it finished, since Acro Fighter is what I like to play. And of course, our goal is Acro Master. So the sooner we can get to that, the better. The sooner we can get to leveling those specific skills, the better. I may pull some of those PAs off my other class, other character, just because leveling PAs really isn't anything interesting. You just spam the same PA over and over again. So it is what it is, nothing too crazy there. But that's pretty much it. A pretty short episode today. Didn't have a whole lot I wanted to record and talk about, so we may include something else in the mix, but we'll have to see how that goes. So this might be the end of the episode. I don't know. Probably not gonna do an outro just in case it's not, but yeah, either way. So some things are a little bit different from the previous clip. I went ahead and just went all in on this character itself. They're only level 59. They're not super high level, but I went and pulled some photon arts, mostly the photon arts that like you don't really level. They just kind of level on their own. We grabbed some, a couple of different items just because we had access to some stuff and kind of rocked it out. So we do, I mean, we still have our money. It is what it is. It's nothing too crazy. I just have it sitting there. I'm not really using it to buy any gear, though. I did look into seeing how much or what the like current better gear is and some recommendations on a few pieces of gear. And I found that a lot of the stuff that I could use was really inexpensive, to the point where I was like, okay, I'm just going to grab it because apparently it was on my other character and it wasn't like expensive, it was super cheap. So I was like, whatever, we'll go ahead and use it. I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. It's a little twinked out as far as gear is concerned, but realistically speaking, when you're going through stuff like this, all you're going to be doing is just selling off all of the items you get as drops. And during this event specifically, it seems like you get quite a bit. So I went and grabbed some of the buff stuff from my, that's Resta Red. Okay, so these aren't set right. I think I want this one here, and I want this one here. Is that how it is? Nope, I just did the same thing again. So, okay, so right now we have Shifta, D-Band. Hold on. Setting these right is kind of a pain. Also, what's the better? Okay, so we want Shifta, D-Band, and then we want Zadile for tier. And then if we go here, we want, I believe we'll go with our debuffs. So we want Jellin, the Zalier, and then here we want our Magistar, and then our Resta. So Magistar gives us all of our buffs. It's at the expense of our HP, but it's not using any of my HP. Unless it's going to start sapping HP away. I'm not sure how that works out. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so it does start sapping away HP. So it might be better just to have Shifta D-Band. And then Oh, it still has the effect. That's kind of annoying. And that's kind of where we're going at. We also technically have a bunch of armor, which then makes survivability substantially easier. Well, I forgot how this PA actually worked. Do love me this PA, I will say. Okay, and we are still taking damage. We're not immune to damage, which is good. It's just taking a bit less so we can get away with doing a bit more soloing is all. We also have a SUV weapon equipped. This is one I had on my previous character. I went ahead and just pulled it. I'm not sure if I remember what it does exactly. I believe it's supposed to be something pretty strong, if I remember correctly. Now, if I go into groups, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably just going to focus on debuffing enemies consistently for the group. Just so, like, it's kind of fair. Plus, I'm not going to be doing this any other time after this, so you can use a little bit of twin pistol action. Yeah, the class system in PSU is always very interesting, man. You always could do a lot of different things depending on how you build yourself. That and, like, it was very common in PSU to kind of twink out your characters when you understood what you were doing. If you had a friend to help out or happens to be. All right, we're going to use our SUV weapon. It's been a while since I've used one. I don't remember what this one does specifically. I think it actually drains my HP. So I'm going to go ahead and set myself up to resto right afterwards. So let's see what happens. Let's press both these buttons together, right? It's X and Y. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. That's why. Yeah, it drains me to 1 HP. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was the case. It does massive damage, though. Which, I mean, that's what all SUV weapons realistically do. This one just has a bunch of dark wings on it. Honestly, I'd rather not have the effect. Ooh, these look really cool. These are the Lavis one. These I actually got as a drop during this mission, so none of my weapons are from my previous character because all my previous characters using was World of Guardians. So we're just gonna use what we can get a hold of. I haven't looked into any weapons that I could buy if I really wanted to. I just opted not to. These are really cool daggers actually too. These are what, replicas of the Lavis cannon? Yeah, these are Lavis blade. Oh, they're Lavis blades. Okay, never mind. We can of course do this really fast. There we go. So as far as how the series is gonna go, I mean, it's been what? Technically it's been 1 day of me recording, but you know, we're already level 60. I've twinked out our gear for the most part. No, not completely. Again, not as good as it could be from what I understand. I guess it gets like much better. And of course, we're not going to get much stronger gear as time continues, right? We're going to probably be sitting with this armor for quite some time. I don't think I'm going to be changing out of this. I might change my my SUV weapon, but that just depends on if I find one that doesn't have this effect on it. Let's be like, oh, dude, this effect looks cool. I'm not a big fan of effects on my character. So if I find one that doesn't have this effect on it, I might go with that. Or if this just feels unfair too much, I might switch over to something else. Yeah, so, and I mean, a lot of these, like, these support spells, I'm like, oh, you know, I could just level them myself, but at the same time, it's just standing around in fire and spamming Resta. Honestly, it's all I'd be doing. As far as leveling my buffs, like, my buffs aren't even leveled as it is, but it would just be standing around spamming buffs on myself over and over and over again, or in a group of people, and it's extraordinarily boring. It's not like it's interesting, it's not like it's difficult, it's just holding the button down and spamming buffs. I think I can do this. There we go. Flying enemies. Super fun those are, let me tell you. Yeah, so I don't really mind too much when it comes to this sort of thing. Is it a little ahead of what I could have at this point? Absolutely, yes, 100%. But same could be said for people joining you, same could be said for the gear that you have or anything like that. I haven't bought anything, this is just stuff I already had. So this is a situation where Renkai actually would do better here, I feel like. But this does fine. I may just disable my Setsuma's Curse. It's pretty nice, gets a good chunk of endurance and everything, but at the same time, I just really don't like these effects on my character all the time. I feel like it's like kind of a silly thing to be like annoyed with, but I don't like seeing it all over my character. Unless there's some way to disable it, I just don't know. Yeah, unlock item, remove, drop, nope. Also have a Vajiri resist. Apparently made this purchasable after a while. I actually spent more money on this because I bought it off the player shop, but it wasn't purchasable, so. But Vajiri resist just keeps you from getting one shot by Megid. Very important, especially if you're doing hardcore, so. So I just clarify, this is not a hardcore character. By the way, we have died before. Or he'd be gone. Oh yeah, the timing on that's not too bad. Oh, again, I should be using TMGs. This is just so I can level up my twin pistol PAs. Nope, we are out of photon points, so we can go ahead and pop a charge. Good to go there. Can also buff ourselves. Nice thing, Acrotecher has faster casting speed, just like Acrofighter has faster attack speed. So casting buffs is really, really, especially on the move. Buffs and debuffs. Very, very comfortable. Some people opt to go Acrotecher just to be able to cast faster, which is really cool. I don't know if it works with attack techs. I remember working with support techs specifically, but I'm not sure about attack techs. I'm gonna see if we can do this really quick for these guys to catch up to us. Yeah, just so we have some space to move around. Yeah, in groups I'm probably gonna focus a lot on just debuffing a whole lot for everyone. Just because I don't have a ton of gear to do damage. And we're an Acrotecher, right? Like, we're not gonna be able to do a whole lot. Now, the funny thing is the gear that I'm wearing right now, you're probably thinking, oh, well, like, it's kind of twinked out, it's unfair. I mean, I have to have the stats to be able to use this gear, so this gear is actually appropriate for the level that I am, which is kind of crazy to think about. Probably wasn't available when these missions became a thing, but between the event going on right now and the fact that we're playing a, what's it called? We're playing a human as an Acro class, we just have access to so many extra stats that this becomes possible very, very easily. And granted, you'd have access to doing a lot of these things if you're playing, like, say, Beast as any of the strike classes, if you're playing, of course, a cast as any of the range classes, so on and so forth. Like, you'd have access to most of these things. But, I mean, you can see, go over to these, like, we're over the defense requirement by a good chunk. And it has a lot to do with the class that we're playing, the level that we are. I don't know if they ever messed around with the requirements. You can't expect me to remember the actual level requirements from over 10, 20 years, 10 years ago, I would say. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, I want to say. Cannot expect me to remember the level requirements from back then. So it's been a long freaking time. So I want to say 10 years ago, maybe a little longer. Probably a bit longer now that I think about it, dude. It's been a long time. Go ahead and do this. As you can see right now, we're actually pretty comfortably soloing, mostly because we have the gear defensively to not have to worry about too much. And we have the PAs offensively to support us. Or the support PAs at least support us. I mean, a lot of times with this stuff, you're just getting one shot when you're too high level. And it really sucks. But we're going to try to push through. You could be like, yo, someone come help us out, blah, 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 blah. But okay, we're getting bullied over here. Let's just, already losing HP. Let's just pop this. Truth be told, my favorite version of that is, well, that summons a big freaking sword. I think that one's actually pretty cool. I kind of don't like the one that we're using right now, but it might just be good. I'll have to look into if it's actually still good or not. It's been a while, right? So I know when I last played it was good, but it's been a bit since I actually last played. So that's why we're probably thinking, well, you know, if you're going to just use this gear anyway, why even bother leveling another character? Because the leveling process is still fun, man. Leveling is actually still pretty fun, even if you're using some cracked gear here and there. I mean, which, to be fair, I mean, doesn't, realistically speaking, in MMOs nowadays when you're leveling, you pretty much use some of the best gear you can get your hands on at the time. You're not using a bunch of, like, low-level stuff or barely any gear at all. That's mostly for either Iron Man challenge stuff or if you're around just, like, when the servers start, which at that point, everyone's using that gear, so it's not anything different any other day. But at the very least, I mean, we're getting these 10-star drops almost anyway. Like I said beforehand, we have the stats to use this stuff, so it's pretty dope. Now, I could realistically use daggers here, which would be better. I'm backing myself into a corner, which is a recipe for death. just because he has more than one spot to hit, but I'm just opting to use TMGs and call it a day from there. Like, the single bullet's not going to be able to cleave to 2 spots. So it's better to use something that can cleave, like a melee weapon there, but my melee PAs are already leveled to the point that they can be leveled to, at least as an acro techer. And as an acro fighter, we'll have some other stuff we can level, so we'll work on dagger PAs a lot as an acro fighter, likely. I'm gonna walk over here into the center as much as I can, and then we'll pop this. This is pretty good leveling for my Resta, so I feel like there's got to be a better one than this now. People are getting what looks like new nano blasts. So I imagine there is. One thing I will note is I never did anything with gas. I played before that was a thing. And then by the time it became a thing, I had moved on to other things. I was only like watching people play PSC back then. So my friends would talk about it, at least my PSU friends would talk about it, and that was really about it. Outside of that, I really didn't mess around too much with it. Resta. Oof. Yeah, that's painful. As you can see, even with having a bunch of gear, enemies still hurt, no matter what you do. Basically what I'm missing is missing good weapons, but honestly, I'll probably just buy some stuff out of the shop. I don't really feel like searching through the player shop for anything, and like, I feel like searching through the player shop is going to make me really crazy powerful. Like, I can live with this. Also, I think I'm running out of time for this mission, so I don't even think I'm going to be able to finish it. I think we're just at 3 seconds left. Just realized that too, actually. Yep, there it goes. Not too terribly bad. I mean, we really didn't get through the entire thing, but I mean, we are solo. We are technically under geared as far as weapons go. We are pretty favorably geared to come to units and things like that and everything else, but yeah. Is what it is. We have Acrotecher at 7 right now. We want to get leveled up as soon as we possibly can, so we're looking at getting that taken care of. And I might just, honestly, I might take this off. I really don't like the way this looks. It's kind of annoying, honestly. And it might just be way too strong as it is, so it is what it is, no big deal. But I think that's where we're going to go ahead and end today's episode. I'm going to do a lot of grinding. I do want, like I said beforehand, I want to get Acro Fighter unlocked, possibly Acro Master. And then I can take my grinding pretty casually. I'm not too super concerned about being insanely high leveled or anything along those lines. We will go ahead and sell this. Not a super concerned with being super high level or anything along those lines. Primarily because like I am just going to be taking my time, or just because I'm going to be going through this anyway, so might as well just get to where I want to be. The reason I want to rush the other things though is primarily because like it's not going to be around the entire time. This event is going to end eventually, and when it ends, I want to make sure I'm in a good position to basically just do what I have to do. So we'll focus on getting the classes unlocked, then we'll kind of go forward from there. But that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. Either way, like if you enjoyed the video, so if you want to keep up with more, as always, thank you to the channel members. You guys are fantastic, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. I mentioned this in a previous video. Like, I've played PSU before, obviously, but it's been years. I don't remember everything. So if there are any tips you guys want to toss out, feel free to let me know. There's always a link to the Discord. You can join there. You can DM me directly. Just jump into Discord in the top right-hand corner. Click on my name. Let me know what's going on. Make sure to let me know the reason you're DMing me, because a lot of times people just DM me and say, hey, should I have a conversation randomly, which is nice. It's always nice to have a conversation. But if there's more to say, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and just mention it from the very get-go if you want to get my attention. Or if you want to just be a part of the community, feel free to jump in. We don't currently have a PSU channel in the Discord, but we might, depending upon popularity and how things go. Or this episode may not see the light of day. Who knows? Either way, I did my outro, then I just started rambling on. So yeah, take care, my friends. Peace out.